Good afternoon, wonderful YouTube subscribers here again at the fantastic Chowderwood Garden, bringing to you live Year 12s and 13s and interested 11s as well. Our final episode of the Machinal Ep9. So yeah, it's crazy that this is the last episode in terms of content of knowledge, and I would suggest that you take some really detailed notes from this video and then you go all the way back and we'll start prepping some questions, some quizzes, and looking at the structures of B1 and B2 again, but really thinking about that journey of the young woman, thinking about the tiny minute details of episodes 1 all the way to 9. And the more we revise, the more we look into those intricate moments, the better. One thing I'm not going to do now is I'm not going to read the scene. Okay, so task 1 is to just pause, read the scene, take some notes, make some comparisons between scenes. We know for B1 and B2 we've got to compare and bring in other examples to show that understanding of the wider context of the text, to present the complete play. So if you haven't read episode 9, read it now, pause. If you have read episode 9, welcome, let's begin. I think the first thing you need to think about is, and forgive me for looking at my notes here, is like, what is Treadwell's purpose? What does she want to convey in this moment? After reading the episode, what does she want to convey? And especially about the machine-like society at the end of this play. The final episode is titled Machine. And so we have that significance of machines, or the idea of the machine-like world, in the conclusion to Treadwell's play. Okay, so the fact that it's called The Machine, the fact that that's where she is now, in this moment in the prison, is an idea of that the play is an accumulation. It comes back, this important aspect. And the idea of machine sounds, and I've written a few down here, so I'll just read them out. In this moment, rattling of keys, footsteps of prison guards, the cutting of hair, the whirling of the aeroplane overhead, and thinking about how I think at this minute that she's submitted to the powers of the machines. They still need to be overwhelming. They never stop throughout this episode or throughout the text at all episodes. But this minute, she's completely despondent. There's a complete lack of hope. There is a couple of stage directions which outline that she is calm at this moment. I don't think she's calm. I think she's just despondent. And I put here the idea that she is at this point submitted to the powers of the machine. And remembering in our previous episode when she's being tried, there's that key moment, isn't there, where she kind of loses all hope when the affidavit is read out. So they're quite nice comparative moments, and you might find some quotations in episode 9 which link really clearly to that. So yeah, I just think about how would you use your design, all design aspects at this minute, to show her despondency, how she is submitted to the power, and especially through the sound effects of, and I'll just repeat them, rattling keys, footsteps of the guards, cutting of the hair, the whirling of the plane overhead. There's a couple of things I want to bring out. At the start, and find the stage direction for me, the matron refers to her as being calm, and she tells them that she is ready. Okay, and again, it feels like at that moment that she has got a choice, but she hasn't. She doesn't have a choice within this machine and is told to sit down. So although even at this final moment she tries to make a decision for herself, and it's automatically like stamped out by the machine. I mean, it's at this point that her composure seems to waver and she starts to lose whatever control she has at that moment. So find that moment when the matron refers to her as being calm and where she says, I am ready. And when she says that, find the other stage direction where she's told really clearly to sit down. And at that moment, that's where her composure starts to waver, where she starts to lose control. Her calmness is, I think, replaced by a sense of anger as they try to control her and finally cut her hair. And the stage direction refers to the fact that her calmness has been shattered. So just underline that moment as well. She becomes much more emotional at this point. And again, the idea of femininity and how that's stripped away through taking her hair hair away, that the one thing that she kind of has some control of, although it's still fitting with the style of the genre of the 20s. But again, how that is eradicated by her, that choice by men to strip her femininity. So I just want to go back over those key things, just so we're really clear at this moment. Key stage direction for the matron is her being calm, and that she makes the choice and says, I'm ready, and then she's kind of shut out and told to sit down. And then just find the stage direction which outlines that she is shattered, and she becomes much more emotional, much more angry as they try to control her. So one thing I want you to really think about for this week is to think about the changing emotional states that she displays through the different tempo rhythms. I'll repeat that because it's quite a mouthful. So thinking about the different emotional or the changing emotional states that she displays, that she shows in this episode through the different tempo rhythms. That's going to be our task for this week. And if you look about where the rhythms alter previously, it's in episode 2 with the mother and how rhythms are used. So again, it's a really good comparison to make to reference the whole text. So again, you might want to flip between episode 9 and 2 and look for where the rhythms are used in different ways. At this point, it's reflecting her emotional states. Let me just thinking about so thinking about how the rhythm would change from like numbers 1 to 10, 10 being really quick, 1 being really slow. So having a real good skim through episode 9 and just indicating level 1 is kind of really calm, slow, controlled. Level 10 is really extreme, exaggerated, uncontrollably. Go through episode 9 and just indicate the changing rhythms of the pace. And the numbers will change when you feel that the young woman's emotions are changing. And as an actress, you would have to reflect these within your tempo rhythm, within the tempo changes. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So let me just repeat, because I was looking down quite a lot. So you're going to go through the episode 9, and you're just going to outline numbers 1 to 10. 1 being controlling, 10 being like exaggerated, erratic. And those moments will outline when the pace or the changes of her emotion and rhythm should change. Okay, so you're just showing how she is going to alter throughout the scene, and you'll see lots of changes. And afterwards, I'd like you to tell me whether the tempo, the changes, were useful to you to think about how you would perform the woman's changing emotions. So I'm asking you to think about when the tempo increased, would your acting change? How did the use of stage space alter, or the gestures or the movements differ when the tempo rhythm developed? Okay, so there's the next few things I'd like you to look at. And then finally, once you've done all of those things, I will do another video on episode 9, because I don't want to do too much on this moment. But I would like you to have a look at the question. I'll place this on class charts. So as a performer, outline how you would use gesture and physical moments or movements to create impact on the audience in the portrayal of the young woman in the final episode of the play, episode 9. And obviously your answer should make reference to the performance text as a whole. Okay, so as a performer, outline how you would use gestures and physical movements to create impact on the audience in the portrayal of the young woman in episode 9. Your answer should reference the performance text as a whole. And all I'll do is I'll just upload again on class charts the B, obviously this is a B1 structure for you. I don't need to answer the whole question, okay, because with the amount of things I've already set you this week, I think I'll be a little bit overbearing. However, if you've got some extra time this week, do the whole question, tackle it, try it, absolutely, please do. However, if you're just sticking to what I'm explaining on this short 10-minute clip, what I'd like you to do is your intro and then 2 paragraphs thereafter. Okay, so introduction and 2 paragraphs. If you're doing the whole essay, you're going to do intro, probably 4 paragraphs and a conclusion. Okay, so it's up to you. I don't mind which one you do. And then next time we meet, what I'll do is I'll go through the final vision of the machine in episode 9 and talk you through some of those things. Okay, so lots to be getting on with there. Anything you don't understand, please drop me an email, and sayonara from the beautiful, glorious, sunny Chatterwood. Okay.